and welcome to FitHealthOF News, bringing you all the latest in health, fitness, and relationship news from across the country. Today, we're going to talk about where things stand with that bird flu as well as the Camp Hill virus. We're also going to talk about some new advances in medical science and how they impact you. We're going to share some of the latest celebrity dating gossip as well as relationship news. And lastly, we're going to end on a top 5 list. All right, let's get started. A new strain of the bird flu has been discovered. Instead of just H5N1, we now have H5N9 in addition. However, I want to give you a bit of peace of mind. Let's look at the data here and show how few cases have actually occurred across all U.S. states. So before you go thinking we were going to be on the coronavirus train again, look at the data. Not too many cases here. All right. Along those same lines, we also have a Camp Hill virus that's been being talked about a lot in the news. It's named after the town where it was found in animals. However, we're not talking about human transmission just yet, so also we don't have to worry too much about that just yet as well. We always hear from doctors and neuroscientists about how the brain is plastic, and they mean that the brain is very flexible and it's very adjustable. However, a new study found that our brain actually contains plastic, about a spoonful. A study of autopsies done post-mortem actually found plastic in the brain. And the amount they found from 2016 to 2024 on average is increasing a lot. So we need to watch out for those plastics because they're literally invading our brains, for want of a better way to describe it. Another study found that aspirin, something that we take on a day-to-day basis if we need it for our heart health, the benefits aren't as clear-cut as we once thought. Back in 2019, the American Heart Association issued some guidance on this, and they said, hey, there's some risks to aspirin. Those risks could be gastrointestinal, irritation or even bleeding. So before you start that aspirin regimen, talk to your doctor and make sure the benefits outweigh the risks. In other health news, scientists and doctors have found even more benefits to flossing. Now it can actually help us reduce our risk of stroke. They took a bunch of study participants who were regular flossers and they evaluated their stroke risk. And they found that for many people, it can actually reduce the stroke risk by up to 44%. I mean, talk about a real benefit. And that's the risk of cardioischemic stroke. And other types of strokes, it can be, varying risks. But the results are really promising. In other news, autoimmune patients have found some relief by electronic vagus nerve stimulation. So by basically stimulating the vagus nerve with electronic pulses, they found that can actually lighten the autoimmune load. So if you're an autoimmune disease patient, that's definitely something you might want to look into. In fitness news this week, a new study found that omega-3s can actually make us younger. We've all known for a long time that proper diet and exercise can lead to feeling better and looking better, but we weren't sure of the specifics, and we also weren't sure about how these studies can translate from animals to humans. However, researchers have found pretty recently that intaking 1 gram of omega-3s daily can actually decrease biological age by up to 4 months. That's a big deal. Another study found that exercise can actually help reduce hunger. So this kind of stuff is really working hand in hand for us. Additionally, another study found that exercise can reduce dementia risk because it helps to improve the way our body responds to insulin. This week in the world of relationships, Ariana Grande shares a rare update about her beau, Ethan Slater. She says that he's amazing and that things are going well. We also hear in the news about Bill Gates and his update about his girlfriend, Paula Hurd. He says that things are getting serious, which we don't hear from Bill Gates a lot about his personal life. So that was really interesting as well to hear in the news. Additionally, in the news, we hear from Priyanka Chopra. She says that she had some reservations initially about dating Nick Jonas, mainly because of the 10-year age gap. But she said that because he checks all of her boxes and, is somebody that really checked off everything she was looking for, that she went ahead and went for it. That age gap of 10 years, is something to, is something, but, nothing too serious. However, in other news, there is a very serious age-related relationship news story happening. In Orange County, school employee actually was arrested for dating a student. The school employee, 32, the student literally half that age at 16 years old. So in other news, some disturbing, news as well. All right, now for this week's top 5 list. This week, we're going to talk about why it's so much harder to date today than it was in the past. All right, reason number 5. It's because getting married used to be more commonplace. All right, back in 1950, 65% of women were married. That was the marriage rate. But by 2011, that rate reduced to 47%. So reason number 5 is just that it's less common for women to get married now. All right, now reason number 4, more divorces and separations. The rate increased from 1% in 1920 up to 15% in 2011. So this could definitely cause a fear of divorce as people see their parents getting divorced or people they care about in their lives, their marriage is not working out. Reason number 3. When Pew Research asked U.S. adults about basically if they thought dating was easier or more difficult between the years 2010 and 2020, half of U.S. adults, roughly half, said they thought it was a lot more difficult. Now, that happens to coincide with the boom in online dating and in social media. So that likely has some part to play. Reason number 2 is the internet and social media, period. It's basically made everything more global, in terms of our communication and dating. So, we're not just dating people in our circle anymore. We're dating people that are pretty much strangers. It's not even just people like, a friend of a friend or anything like that. So it makes it easier for lies to happen or fake profile pictures, things of that nature, which can really hinder us in the dating process. And reason number 1, the biggest reason, more situationships. A little survey by YouGov that I found says that around 50%, and that's half, 50% of Americans aged 18 to 34 report having been in a situationship. So that's reason number 1. All right, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. I'm Erica with FitHealthOF News. See you next time.